We don't make comments on vendors that we may or may not have engaged with.
So to that end, did your party hire Mr. Kinsella to attack the Liberals?
As I said, we don't make comments on vendors that our party may or may not have
Did
engaged
you,
with.
yes or no, did you hire Mr.
We,
Kinsella?
as a rule, we never make comments on vendors that we may or may not have engaged with.
Why does the great privacy or secrecy about this? Why can't you be transparent with Canadians about this contract?
As a general rule, when it comes to
what's the
party
general rule?
matters,
What is the general rule?
when it relates to party matters, we don't comment on contracts we may or may not have with vendors.
Why?
It's we don't offer comments. We
That's
don't
just
make
not
comments
acceptable,
on
Mr. Scheer. You should be able
contracts
to
that
answer
may or
this
may not
question.
exist.
You should be transparent about
Well,
this. Why can't you answer this question?
When it comes to internal party matters, when it comes to contracts that may or may not exist, we don't offer comment.
Mr. Scheer, is it ethical for a party in the middle of an election campaign to hire a skullduggery firm to potentially dig up dirt on an opponent? And if the Liberal Party did this, would you be demanding transparency from them?
Well, we're not going to make comments on contracts that may or may not
I'm
exist.
not asking about a contract. I'm asking about the principle of digging up dirt on your opponent and hiring a firm to do it secretly.
And I said we're not going to make comments on contracts that may or may not exist or with vendors that we may or may not have. So, as a rule, we don't make comments on contracts that may or may not exist or vendors that we may or may not have.
What is the rule that you have here that you can't say which contractors you're working with?
We just don't comment on the contracts that we may or may
But
not
why?
have.
Is it a rule you just made up?
We just don't. We don't make
any
comments on contracts that we may or may not have or vendors that we may or may not have engaged with.
And again, one of my colleagues asked if Liberal leader Justin Trudeau had said that, would you accept that answer?
It's we don't make comment on contracts that we may or may not have.